What led you to your first shoot?
I was a stripper, and I really was kind of tired of that. Yeah, it's very exhausting. You know, I went from stripping in like the Midwest to stripping in Vegas, and it didn't get better; it got worse. It's like
Really?
so
In
well because
Vegas?
there's like so many girls to deal with, you know, and so many customers, and so many just management and house moms, and like all these people. It's just like very stressful. And I was like, oh, I got to get out of this job. Like, I don't like it anymore. This is too much, you know? Like, I thought maybe going to Vegas would make it more, I don't know, maybe the money would make it better, but it just really didn't. So I was like, what about this that I really like, that I want to keep, and what do I want to let go? And I love sex. Sex is great. And I like being viewed as a sex
Hashtag it.
object,
For real.
which, like, I was always kind of nerdy. So I never really been viewed as a sex object before. So I was like, oh, it's kind of cool. And
Legos were cool,
I still play with Lego.
but then these magnet things were like, I don't know why though. Sometimes, and they're done playing with them. They're like, all right, dude, let's do something else. I'm like, nah, bro, hold on. I'm almost done with this castle. We'll get back to it.
Almost done with that castle. Ladies and gentlemen, did we not all play with castles, Barbie dream houses, and a multitude of other toys? Did we not? And as grown-ups, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes we play with toys again. And that is the note on which we are starting today's episode. Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? It's your motherfucking boy, Gamero, the Pharaoh, the poor man's Robert De Niro. You know what I'm talking about, bald version. You
Bro, I
know,
said it once and he hasn't dropped it.
how
Once
dare
I
you?
said it.
How dare you?
I know, but every
added
time I feel the
I-
passive aggressiveness in the back.
Yeah, I mean, I know that you gotta kick. This man loves pointing out my baldness, all right? That's one thing that man loves doing. But that's Emi, you know what I'm talking about. And that is my right-hand side man for today. Ladies and gentlemen, to my right-hand side, we got Emi in the his house.
So what's up? Castle game on point.
Castle game on point. Emi, brother, how you doing?
Doing good. You just
good?
reminded me with the Barbie dream house. It was I can't remember what it's called. It was like a Barbie summer. It was like their summer cottage or something like that. That's what my mom had. That's what I used to play with.
Respect that.
Hand-me-down toys on point. Dude.
Oh, bro, hand-me-down toys
all
are
the
the
Barbies.
best.
But if I fucked up a Barbie, dude,
Oh, bro, R.I.P.
the ass whooping of a lifetime.
R.I.P. Ladies and gentlemen, behind the cameras, you know what I'm talking about. There's a cameraman extraordinaire that I gotta introduce. You know what I'm talking about. This man's about to take a voyage to find his new home soon. You know what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, behind the scenes, we got Ignacio in the his house. What's going on? What's going on? That illustrious what up. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. How do I even put into words the episode that we have for you today? I mean, I'm gonna need some help because I really don't, you know what I'm saying? I have no words to introduce the illustrious guest before us. You see the necklace on fleek. You know what I'm talking about? The bling.
Matching.
That custom. Oh, I like it. All right. You know what I'm talking about? Johnny Tsunami, Halloween Town 2, Calabar's Revenge, and SARA Jay. What do all these things have in common? They all molded me from a young age. You know what I'm talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, to my left-hand side, we have thespian of the erotic arts, SARA Jay in the his house.
Like that.
Wow, thank you.
Oh my God,
that
thank
was pretty
you.
impressive.
I try. Oh my God, I'm blushing already. You know what I'm saying? Sarah, first of all, thank you so much for joining us today. It truly is an honor to be able to kick it with you today. First off, I always ask everybody, especially the artists in his house, how has COVID affected you personally, affected your work schedule? How did it affect your industry? Talk to us a little bit about that.
When COVID popped off, obviously we had to quit production, and we didn't resume production until July last year. And then we were able to get tested. We get tested before every single shoot. and all the crew has to get tested. So we had to kind of spend that time from March to July, working with regulators on who needs to get tested and when they need to get tested, and like, how are we going to police this and all that stuff. But it's really cool because we already have this whole system in place for testing for STDs, so they just added the COVID to the panel, and we see it with our regular panel.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Very
crazy.
cool. Very cool.
So after July, like we kind of resumed production like normal, just with testing. And I think just like mentally, COVID's probably affected like all of us, right? And for me personally, it's kind of made me slow down a little bit. I'm glad. Yeah, like, just take a deep breath. I have a tendency to like take a big plate like this and fill it up with stuff and try to attack all of it. And now I'm just like, no, just this little handful at one time.
and that's me at a buffet. You know what I'm saying? That's facts. You know what I'm saying? Sarah, talk to us about your roots. You're someone who has been in the game for so long, such an established figure. Talk to us about, your first shoot. Talk to us about what was going on through your mind when you first got started, and what led you to your first shoot.
I was a stripper, and I really was kind of tired of that. Yeah, it's very exhausting. I went from stripping in like the Midwest to stripping in Vegas, and it didn't get better. It got worse. It's like
Really?
because there's like so many girls to deal with, and so many customers and so many just management and house moms and like all these people. It's just like very stressful. And I was like, oh, I got to get out of this job. Like, I don't like it anymore. This is too much, Like, I thought maybe going to Vegas would make it more, I don't know, maybe the money would make it better, but it just really didn't. So I was like, what about this that I really like, that I want to keep, and what do I want to let go? And I love sex. Sex is great. And I like being viewed as a sex object, which like I was always kind of nerdy. So I never really been viewed as a sex object before. So I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And so there's certain things I wanted to keep, but like certain things, like I don't like dealing with so many people, man. Like I wasn't good in high school with people, and now like dealing with 300 girls in a locker room, it's like, what am I doing? So yeah, I quit stripping and I started doing porn.
Okay.
As if it was only that easy, right? No, like, I just put my feelers out and got a hold of this girl who'd done a couple scenes. She wasn't really a porn star, but she'd done a couple scenes, and she hooked me up with my first shoot. And I went and got tested, and I was super hyped up. I was like, oh yeah, this is my break. I get to do this. I was ecstatic about it. And I get there, and it turns out that the guy that I'm working with, he's also new.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no, don't do that. As a casting agent, don't do that, okay?
that seems like a mess up there, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, you always put an experienced person with somebody new, So yeah, the scene never was released, and the guy couldn't get hard. He couldn't get hard, and he definitely couldn't come. He couldn't get hard at all. So I went through all that like excitement, and then it was like, but I kept on pressing again, and I was like, no, I want to do this. This was, I get it, and it's good, and it's gonna work for me. And so I got another gig, and I went in, and I started blowing the guy, and like in my mind, a porn star is somebody who's a really great sex performer, right?
Right.
No. In our minds too.
Yeah.
No, that is not always the case. Really, like it's a little bit more delicate than that. Like
You're already shattering my dreams.
Yeah, we have to like fulfill a certain amount of time,
right?
And we also like have to have a certain amount of positions, right? And there's certain things that are needed on set. So I get to set, and I'm like, oh, this is so exciting. And I remember I walked in, I was supposed to strip, and then I was gonna like suck this guy off in the bathroom, and I dropped to my knees and I sucked him off. And he popped in my mouth in like 2 minutes. And I was like, yay, I'm the winner. And they were like, okay, we have to shoot all over again. I was like, oh. Damn. Okay. I missed the point. My bad.
Oh, shit. That's why you need a good editor, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hit me up.
That's crazy.
Right? Yeah. So that scene was released, and it's old VHS tape, 18 and Eager. And I was not 18. But I wasn't far off. I was probably like 22-ish,
Okay.
So, yeah, that was my first scene. And then I realized really quickly, like, don't make him come right away. Like the goal is not to make him come, That's
crazy to think about it, right? Because we're, as a viewer, you're watching, you're like, oh, that's probably a great blowjob. Right? In my mind, I'm like, this guy is taking 15 minutes of the best blowjob I've ever seen in my life. And he's just standing there like,
and Adonis.
whatever.
Yeah.
And it's because it's his second nut.
Oh, man.
Bro. And that's secrets of the trade right there.
Right there, bro. The glass
Secrets
is shattered for me.
of the trade.
Also, communication's super important too. Like as I've gotten older, you know, like I always tell the male performer that I'm working with, like, if it's too good, please stop and let me know. Like, you know, just be like a little less, please.
But you need to be, you got to be a professional to really, to be like, yeah, it's too good. I need you to stop.
Yeah.
And that's a professional. You know, talk to us about that, professionals, what it's like, and what your experiences have been like, you know, with your male counterparts. Have you ever had situations which you were too fond of, or maybe a scene had to get scrapped altogether because you just didn't mesh at all? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, sure. I'm usually really easy to get along with, but occasionally there's been like personality conflicts, and we all have like, you know, within the industry, everybody has like a no list. So you have like people on your no list that you don't want to perform with, and anybody that's ever been on my no list, it's always been like just a personality conflict. Like, I actually don't want to make you come.
Oh, that's actually a great point.
You know, like I mean, I'm an actress and I can do a lot of things, but if I don't want to make you come, I'm not gonna do it.
Right, of course, and that's facts.
Hell yeah,
that's facts.
Yeah, because you know, like it takes a lot of effort to make somebody come. Sometimes, you know, you have to like kind of want to do it in your heart, like for whatever the reason is, but you have to. Yeah.
God, that was beautiful. It was like a scene at what was it? The Yellow Brick Road. Talk to us about some, I guess, misconceived notions of the industry. Some things that, you know, when you were first starting off, either friends or family members or whomever, were really trying to drill you with, hey, you shouldn't do this because A, B, and C. And then having been in the industry, you've learned that it's not actually true.
Wow. I think that I'm just fortunate, I guess. I didn't have any of that. I didn't have anybody that was like, don't do it.
Okay.
Actually, I didn't really consult anybody either, though. Like, I was just like, oh, by the way, I do porn down there. And, oh, okay.
Hell yeah. Update that LinkedIn, boy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I have a very small family, and I have, you know, other family that I haven't spoken to in like 15, 20, 30 years, whatever. But yeah, I have like a very small family, and my family's super supportive of me and everything I do. And when I started in porn, I was married, and my husband was also supportive. He was like, if that's what you want to do it. I was like, cool, thanks. Yeah, I do.
Wow. You know, in our, we have 3 segments, which we're definitely going to get into shortly. And many of the questions that fans sent in had to do with just that, about balancing a personal relationship and still being able to pursue a career in this field. Talk to me about, how do you balance it? How do you find that fine line, that perfect medium that works for everybody?
It's really hard. And I'll be honest, the way that I've set up my life, I'm very happy with it, but it definitely requires sacrifice, you know, like, just like anybody who loves their job and their job takes up a lot of time and a lot of effort, you know, that leaves little time for a personal life. But then on top of that, you're asking somebody in your personal life to deal with the fact that you have sex all day, which is like kind of a lot to deal with, you know? They're not saying that it's impossible, because there's plenty of people that get it and fully understand that this is a job and this is what I do. And that even though it's fun and it feels good, I still have like a loyalty to a partner or whatever. But there's plenty of people that don't. And I think to expect people to be okay with your job is like a lot. It's really a lot. So for me personally, I've just chosen to be single. And yeah, you know, I've got a lot of great friends. And I mean, like, I have a lot of great friends, and they come in and out of my life, and very positive and impactful. Most of the people that are in my life have been in my life for over 10, 15 years. So I feel very lucky and very fortunate to get what I need out of like companionship and friendship from, you know, numerous people in my life.
Wow, that's dope. I gotta ask, and sorry to go on a tangent. Talk to me about craft services and porn sets, because I love food.
Is that a thing?
Craft service, I mean, you need to eat. You know, how do you get right?
Yeah, we do not have craft services,
Okay.
but you do need to eat. Yes, depending on the production company. If you're gonna be there like over 3 hours, they usually have food, right? But it's up to the producer to like bring it, whether it's like carrots and celery and ranch dressing,
Right.
or it's donuts, or it's pizza. Like there's a director that I work for frequently, and he's always like getting McDonald's. I'm like, what are you doing to people?
Dude,
No, dude.
Stop
come
it.
on.
But that
Like-
seems like just like, what are we doing?
Yeah, no, that's what I said. I was
Pizza.
like, he always.
We can't do donuts because then you know what? I bloat.
Oh yeah,
Right.
You're
I'm
about
not
to
gonna
be
look
on
good.
camera, guy.
Yes.
What are we doing?
Exactly. Like,
You know?
no, that's exactly where I'm at with it. Like they're always like, "Hey, you want something? We're going to McDonald's." I'm like, "No, I've got a 3-day-old protein bar in my bag." Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
So like, when I'm a producer as well, and when I produce, like, we just order Uber Eats. I don't really care.
Respect.
Like, yeah, like
Yeah, that's
what
the move.
Yeah.
we'll get some salads or Subway or
Right.
like whatever everybody agrees.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like a light sandwich, a wrap, maybe a
Yeah,
salad if
totally.
we have time to sit
Right.
down and eat.
Yep, and I don't really like to offer people food before they shoot. Like, we'll offer food in the middle. Like, so we take like a lunch day in the middle of like a full day, Because if you shoot, not in the morning, don't.
No, because
Yeah,
then you
all
come in
kinds of
bloated,
things.
you
Yes,
come in
I'm like, all kinds of
heavy,
things.
lethargic.
Yeah.
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 Emmy and I have a recurring argument. If you could just give us your 2 cents, do you trust the buffet at the strip club?
Oh,
I don't trust any buffets ever at all. Like,
Respect. That's solid.
Yeah.
that's a hard way to live life. I
Yeah.
trust every buffet.
nah, like especially now with COVID, I don't want to touch
Well,
those
nowadays-
spoons or nothing.
yeah.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Nowadays it's a little rough.
I live my life under different code. I live, on the wild side of things.
Right.
I cleaned porta potties for a couple years. So once you go through
yeah,
for a
yeah,
couple years,
yeah.
couple months, excuse me. Once you go through that, you see cleanliness on a different.
Oh,
scale.
yeah.
I
Right?
can totally.
I
yeah.
put up with some shit.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Literally.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
Sarah, what was it? What was the first moment in your career? Maybe it was you working with a certain studio or a certain director, or maybe being flown out and you had never been flown out, all expenses paid. What was the first time that you realized, hey, maybe this is something big? Maybe this isn't something that I'm gonna do for a couple months, but something legitimately.
I kind of think I always felt like it was something big and something legitimate, but I think the time that it was like proven to me, where I was like, oh shit, I'm kind of famous.
Yeah. When do you get to put the star?
Right.
Yeah,
When do you Google yourself? Right.
Right. Okay. I was in Amsterdam, and I was in a
Immediately made it.
I was in a pedicab. I love pedicabs, like bicycle taxis.
Oh,
Those
okay,
are like
okay,
my
very cool.
favorite thing, especially in a city that I'm not familiar with, because it's like you get to. It's almost like walking, but not, And
They're walking for me.
yeah, I mean, yeah, and you're getting exercise. It's great. So like I'm in a pedicab, and we stop at a stop sign, and it's got a little cabana, a little thing, and somebody's like, "Oh my God, it's Sarah Jay." And the pedicab driver, it was like very directed at me, like they used their finger and everything, like, you over there. And the pedicab driver was like, do you know them? Do you need me to stop? And I was like, no, go. And I was like so beside myself, like, oh, wow, what do I do?
Oh my
That's
God.
awesome.
Yeah. That was probably the...
And in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Right? Not in the U.S.
No.
I think that, I mean, like I'd been recognized in the U.S. before, and like that wasn't...
This is international.
That was a
Yeah,
big
exactly.
deal. That was
Yeah.
kind of a big deal. I was like, oh, it's everywhere. Yeah.
Wow. Talk to me about some directors that you've absolutely loved working with and what made it such a pleasurable experience. No pun intended.
I tend to work with a lot of the same directors over and over again, just because like we gel, like when you work with somebody and you can just flow and you're like, okay, I know what you're trying to get, and you know how I work, and it just works out together. And then you end up building a relationship that lasts like over a long period of time. There's the director that I work with frequently from Naughty America. What's up, Shelby Black?
Shout out, Naughty America. Frequent flyer
Family
miles.
work.
Yeah.
Family
Like,
Flyer
work.
miles.
Like, I've been shooting with Shelby for over a decade, I'm sure. And yeah, like we work very well together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very
Absolutely. But, like I said, I have my own production company. And so one of my directors, he goes by a Triple X Stranger. that, him and I have been working together since he got in the industry. So I've kind of helped mold and build him to be what I need him to be, which is great.
All right.
That's awesome.
When did you first start dabbling into the producing role?
I kind of did it a little bit right away because when I started out, the internet was like in its infancy, and I got my own website right away. And so then I had to produce content for it. And, I hired I had a webmaster and I had a director, and they kind of handled it. But then it was started to be like a team effort. And then it was like me doing it, because sometimes I have to hire other camera people. And then before you know it, I've got 3 camera people that work for me on a regular basis, and we're shooting other people, and it kind of just snowballs. But, I think that it really started to take off when I got my first distribution deal, which was around 2008.
Okay. Talk to me a little bit about that. What was that like? What challenges did you have to go through in order to get that distribution deal?
Paperwork. So much paperwork. When you produce porn, it really requires a ton of paperwork. I need everybody's ID, 2 IDs. I need pictures of the IDs. I need bunny ears of the IDs. I need this government form called a 2257. I need a model release. So many things. And that has to be all kept super organized. And, prior to maybe 2008, when I got my deal, I was, kind of a little slacking.
Okay.
I might have 1 ID or 1 model release, So I had to kind of get my shit together and be like, okay, no, this is what needs to be done. I just need to keep doing it like this from here on out. And I had to go back and, secure all these IDs and secure all these model releases and everything. So glad I did it, because fast forward to now, and you may have heard, maybe you didn't, I don't know, that, Visa and MasterCard's pulled funding from a lot of these tube sites, right?
Yeah.
And
really?
Yeah. And the reason why is because the way that the tube sites work is just users can upload content on there. And if it's not caused any problems, and if there's no red flags, they're not going to ask you guys for model releases, right? So in the meantime, Visa and MasterCard get on there and look, and they see that there is possibly underage people on here, or whatever.
That's the whole Pornhub thing.
Whatever kind of violations they see, and they're like, okay, where's these model releases? And Pornhub's like,
right. That's what.
But it's not Pornhub's responsibility to hold on to those model releases. It's your responsibility.
It's the uploader.
Right. So we've kind of got to change the whole system, so that way that when you're uploading, you are also uploading the IDs and model releases and 2257s and everything. So that's a lot of work for them. But on my end, I've been doing this for 20 years. And I've been keeping all my little model releases. Now we're super fancy now. Now we have them digitized, and everything's digital in the computer.
Yeah, you don't have to store folders.
No, exactly. We literally we just stopped doing that. We were doing both for a long time, and we just stopped. And so now it's digital. That's the way it goes.
If you had to, and I'm sure it's difficult, but if you had to choose between producing or starring, in front of the camera, what would you pick?
I don't want to choose. No, sometimes you get up and you want to go to the gym, and some days you want to go to work, and some days you want to mow the lawn, and you just want to do different things on different days, and that's what keeps your job fresh and interesting and not boring. And yeah, I'd like to do both. Right now, today, I'm kind of horny. I would like to be on set today.
Respect.
But tomorrow,
awesome.
but tomorrow I might not feel
It's the lighting.
Tomorrow I might not feel like putting makeup on, and I might feel bossy. I want to tell people what to do.
Do you get to actually do you get a say, for example, today I'm in the mood to be a dominatrix or a dom, or today I want to be submit, do you have a say in that, or do you kind of just go with whatever's shooting that day?
It depends on if I'm shooting for myself or shooting for another company. If I'm shooting for another company, they're the boss, and I just show up and be like, what would you like me to do?
And do you have a preference as far as having the creative control, or not having to worry about as much and just showing up?
I love to have the creative control. It's almost difficult for me to shut up and let somebody else do it. When I show up on set, I'm like, just let me know. Yeah.
Oh, my
It is.
God.
It's a little bit of a challenge for me to let go of the control.
Yeah, definitely. Ladies and gentlemen, every single week we have three segments. You know what I'm talking about? The first one is actually called Mail Time. You know what I'm talking about? And every Saturday, you go on social media, Instagram, boom, you see a story, and you're going to see tomorrow's guest, and you can ask our guest a question on the air. You know what I'm talking about? And here we go. All right. A lot of Indian men. A lot of it. What's that? What is that?
Okay, so I figured it out. You want to know?
Please. As soon as she posted
you
it,
did tell me that as soon as I walked in.
Rahish was DMing me talking about I need to do porn. I'm like, all right, bro.
So it's a little bit of a long story. I'll try to brief it up. But basically, when I started, internet in its infancy, tube sites didn't exist. And so some of the websites like Naughty America and other websites, they would release scenes for free on file sharing things like LimeWire, right? Which people in countries that can't get porn, like India, like China, like Middle East, like Egypt. I've got a crazy huge fan base in Egypt.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I feel like I might be Britney Spears in Egypt. Keep it real.
Dude.
So like these countries, they had never really seen porn before, at least not American porn. And so when file sharing started happening, they were seeing these things. And a lot of my scenes were on these file sharing things because I was like very busy at the time. I was living in Vegas and I was working all the time, and I'm working for all kinds of companies that were doing big things on the internet, you know? And I figured this out by talking to a lot of people, and this sounds crazy, but follow me here. A lot of these guys who are from these countries have never seen an American white woman have sex with somebody that was not white.
Oh.
So to them, I'm the first white woman to have sex with a black man.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
A pioneer.
I am a pioneer. I
are.
am a pioneer. They're like, wow, like an American white woman.
Is this
like,
what it looks like?
Yeah. She's getting dicked down by somebody who's not white, you know? Like, yeah, so it's kind of like a big deal. And that being that's like the only porn that they get, you know? It's like the little crumbs that they can steal from the internet, yeah.
Wow. Well, you learn something new every day. You really do.
Because I walked in and it was like, dude, the amount of Indian guys that have been, even some Brazilian guys.
We appreciate we appreciate the love.
I love it too, and I think it's so cool how that worked out. And it took me, a few years to figure out, like, put all these pieces together. But that's
you're gonna need to hire security if you go to Egypt.
Oh, yeah.
I have security. I have to hire security if I go to South Beach.
If you go to South Beach,
do you visit Egypt? You see it right there?
there you go.
But all right, we'll pick 3 random questions from the plethora of questions that we got. Many of them, urging you to go to Egypt or India, so
Or Brazil.
Brazil, yeah. So just know you have a fan base there. Question number 1: do you have in mind any new tattoos?
I do, actually. I've got one tattoo that I need to get touched up, and then I'd like to get my constellation. Yeah, so I just haven't figured out where I want to put it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a Scorpio, and most of my tattoos are like astrologically related. So yeah, I want to get my constellation. I just don't know where yet.
Very cool. Would you agree to have sex with Egyptian man like me?
Dude, tons of them.
I've had sex with Egyptian men just to
Respect.
Yeah,
Okay.
You know what's up, dude.
All right.
Keep shooting your shot, dude.
Right. Which it kind of, yeah, keep shooting your shot. But not in her DM, she's annoyed. Okay, how long do you want to be a porn star?
I'm doing this for life, like I have a management company and I have a production company, and I kind of feel like this is my talent and my specialty, and we all have a calling, and my calling is in the adult industry.
And last question. Oh yeah. Last question of the Mail Time segment. What was it like working with Shane Diesel? You know what I'm saying? That's like looking at a mirror. You know what I'm saying?
Shane is super sweet, and we've always had really good chemistry, which it's great when you have good chemistry with somebody you're working with, because there's a lot of times when you don't. But Shane and I always had really, really great chemistry. Super nice guy. We get along really good. I'm very attracted to him. He's very attracted to me. So we always put out good content. But it's been years, and I would like it a revisit.
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you for sending those questions in. You know what I'm saying? Please, every Saturday, check out for that and send in those questions. You know what
Who's
I'm
Shane
about.
Diesel? I just looked him up. I don't recognize him.
Who's
Has he got like
Shane
a
Diesel?
massive piece? Is something going on?
Yeah, it's like, a little thicker than this bottle.
Fuck
It's probably a little thicker than this bottle.
out of here, bro.
Shout out Smart Water. You know what I'm saying? That's a sponsorship right there.
Sometimes the problem I have with porn is I feel so inadequate. Dude.
What
is going on, dude?
Well, then don't
what
watch
do I do
Shane
next to
Diesel.
these things,
Do
you know?
not watch Shane Diesel.
It's kind of sucks because, like, honestly, even though size is impressive visually, it's definitely not like where it's at. Like, I've had amazing sex. Some of the best sex that I've had has been with like guys that are a little bit on the smaller side.
Define smaller side.
I mean, I'm a porn
5
star, so
inches,
don't be
maybe?
offended by that. But like when I say smaller side, like under 7 inches,
Got it.
Yeah, but like the thing is
Definitely
like
talking about me then.
I've had really great sex with like, normal size guys. But with porn, obviously guys that are like well endowed are going to be, spotlighted. And also because you have to like leave angles open for the camera and the lights and everything, you kind of need a little bit
it
bigger
helps
dick
visually, yeah.
because he's not. It, like when you're having real sex, right? When you're having
That's
real
a mini
sex,
video right there.
yeah, it goes like this, right? Real sex, hey, real sex. Okay, porn sex is gonna be like open and to the side and like kind of like this. So you kind of need that extra length so that everybody can see what's happening.
Right. Make it easy on the cinematographer.
Actually,
you know what
Especially
I'm
with a
saying?
big butt. Like if you got a big butt, then you need an extra long penis.
Oh yeah. I could definitely
That's
see
just
that.
math.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
It's gotta
just
go
math.
around the corner.
But now that we're talking about angles, I've always wondered the POV guys, right? Are they like legit holding a camera here? Because that looks, it sounds ridiculous.
You guys are pretty much hugging the
or
cameraman.
is the guy like, and there's another dude over him with a camera?
It
How does that work?
varies. It varies based on how the
GoPro
guy
headband? I
feels
don't
comfortable.
know.
Yeah, we do all that. Sometimes there's GoPro headbands. No, for sure.
That's legit.
You laugh,
I've
sir.
legit had these thoughts.
You laugh. They've tried
Your
to make me
little
wear a
GoPro, we
GoPro.
about to-
I've been in scenes where they make me wear a GoPro. I'm like, come on.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, I don't like the GoPro thing. Screw all that. Like I've seen the GoPro chest, the GoPro on the head. I'm like, oh my god, do I have to do this today? But then, like, there's like the way that I would prefer to shoot, and if we shoot POV, I have my cameraman shoot it because, like, I feel that if you're worried about your penis or saying you're my
Always.
if you're my male
Always.
my male talent, right? You should be just worry about your fucking dick, okay?
You got it. Don't tell me twice.
Right.
All right.
I don't want you to have to worry about the camera or holding it still or none of that shit. Let's just get a cameraman. We put the cameraman on like a box or like another chair or
Stands
something.
over.
It
Forget
stands
about it.
over right over your shoulder.
Yeah.
And the cameraman has to be like super cool guy. That's why like my
Right.
cameraman, Triple X Stranger, he's like got no weird vibes or anything. He doesn't make anybody feel uncomfortable, and he can be like right here with the camera while
Right.
you're
Oh yeah, that would be weird.
Hell
as
yeah.
fuck.
It's
like a
right?
weird dude standing right here,
Oh,
just
no.
breathing on my ear.
It would
Or
definitely.
like, what
yeah.
if it's like an asshole, like really aggressive guy
Yeah,
who's
no.
just like
Like,
kind of
get the
giving,
fuck out of my
like
way.
he's been giving you a whole hard time the whole time, and he's like, "Move your head,"
Yeah.
like you're like, "Oh my god, you just touched me,"
Which
and now my
one?
dick went.
It would need to be it would need to be someone I like smoked with before. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna lay down this pipe. Let's go. You
Right,
know, like-
exactly,
like-
exactly. So
Yeah,
like
that's always been something I've wondered. Like, how do they get that POV?
and then, well,
angle?
then, like, there's some guys that just get really creative and they've done it enough and they've practiced enough that they know where they need to be and they're comfortable enough, like, holding their arms steady while they're nutting, which I'm like,
That
seems like torture
really,
to me.
That's exactly.
like,
that's
why
really
are you
where,
doing that to
I'll get-
yourself?
That's where
The
I started.
turtleback. The
That's where I
turtleback.
had the first thought. Well, fuck the turtleback, dude. I would drop it. Like,
Yeah.
I would be like, oh,
As equipment.
fucking, you know?
As equipment.
yeah.
Yeah, dude. No, listen.
That's
That was my first. I was through. I could nut. First of all, you lose the angle immediately.
Yeah.
I'm not like I'm shooting the wall
Like,
now. The camera's
right.
fucking up here. I don't know how. Like that was my first thought. Like the guy can't be holding this shit himself, right?
Sometimes and
That's
like
crazy,
yeah
man.
I have to see, like, if I'm going to do a POV scene, right? Especially now in my career, if I'm going to do a POV scene, I need to see like other scenes that you've done POV. How do you do it? Because I want to know that it's going to be like quality and not like some bullshit, you know?
right.
Yeah.
Were you intimidated when you first got the call to work with Shane Diesel?
No.
Said no.
I was
I'm
excited.
intimidated to talk about it.
Yeah.
I was excited.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like,
It's like going to the World Cup.
I guess some people would call me a size queen. I don't really like that term because I have amazing sex with all sizes. Like
Right.
I really just like to fuck. But yeah, like when I'm very attracted to Shane, not even his dick. Like I'm just attracted to him. Like so when I got cast with him, I was like, he's hot. Yeah, let's do that. I don't even care what his dick looks like. I don't even look. Like,
And then he whipped that monster
and I'm like,
out. You're like, ooh.
Okay, this is gonna be a challenge of a day.
Like it's a Spartan race or something.
Right? Yeah,
you know?
and I'm like, let's do it. There's a lot of real estate to work.
Yeah, for sure. That's a big canvas to paint on, if you will. You know what I'm talking about. You briefly mentioned, when speaking about why you have such a large Egyptian Indian fan base, about uploads, illegal uploads, all that stuff. What are your 2 cents on, people downloading porn illegally, not subscribing to the sites, using torrents, whatever, this or that, which has been an issue for the industry for such a long time. Talk to me about that.
I try not to be bitchy just in my general overall character, but it sucks, because the thing is it costs money to make porn, and I'm just trying to help you guys get off.
Yeah.
Can you
Respect.
shoot me
You
a
do.
couple bucks?
Respect.
Damn. There's a lot of costs. Like one scene can cost anywhere from like $3,000 to $10,000.
Wow.
So like. Yeah, just pay your $2.99 or $8.99 or whatever it is. Just buy some porn.
Right. For real.
Yeah, I try not to complain and bitch about it, but and you can't really stop it. Like it is what it is, and they're definitely not going to regulate our industry. They don't care. So yeah, you just have to suck it up. Luckily, the tube sites have kind of like gotten on our side over the past few years, which is good because they were making a lot of enemies. And they started paying us for all
like royalty fees?
Yeah, basically. It's like view share is what they call it.
Oh, kind of like the
Kind of like
YouTube
Spotify.
Yeah, that bullshit. Just numbers on a page. You know, like, again, you're just like, well.
Well, listen, it can't be going that bad. We looked it up earlier. Number 25 ranked on the hub
In the world.
Right.
Shout out, guys.
No, for sure.
Top 25 in the
just don't
world
like-
is fucking power moves.
I am very appreciative of all my fans, and I'm very appreciative of that list. And I'm very appreciative of every time they click and want to watch one of my scenes. I'm very appreciative. But the numbers that I get back on the paper with the report and the check, I don't know if those are real, but I'm just like, thank you for the crumbs. Because before we didn't get anything. So it's like...
It's a move in the right direction.
It's definitely a move in the right direction.
Is that why you feel so many porn stars are taking the route of, making their own websites, taking control?
Yeah, honestly, I always felt like that was the way to go. We were talking earlier about your competitiveness. Like, I just don't understand why you wouldn't want to own your own shit. Like,
right.
I don't understand. But now it's even a step further than having your own website and owning your own shit, owning your own content. But now, you've got sites like clip sites like OnlyFans and ManyVids and like a million other sites out there that have really given the power to the performers and put the power in their hands to be able to make all the money and cut out the middleman almost entirely, which is awesome.
Right. I was going to ask you, where do you see the future of porn heading? The ManyVids, the OnlyFans, it's pretty recent. And we were surprised that on Pornhub, they still have phone sex.
Oh, yeah.
Because we felt like that.
my fucking mind.
Because I felt like.
Oh, I do phone sex all the time.
I wanted to ask you if
there's
that's
a
something you
camera in my
participate
phone.
in.
Why would I not choose to watch you? I don't get that.
Because you might want to interact with me.
So if I watch you, I can't talk to you?
No, you mean like a FaceTime kind of watch you?
Right, like that.
Like
I
a
feel
private
video.
cam
Okay,
show or
so that's
something.
more expensive.
Oh, well, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
number
right,
one,
right,
that's
right.
more expensive. And number two, like, you might not be in a place where you can, like,
That's true.
watch,
Yeah.
You might be driving or, like, I don't know, anywhere.
Right.
Somewhere where you can't watch,
Well, I'm a crash. I'll tell you that. I'm a crash when I'm driving. Ooh.
Yeah.
If I got Sarah Jay talking about, take off your pants, I'm like, we crashed.
Also, availability is different, too. Like, if you want to Skype with me or like, some sort of like video situation, I'm only available a couple times a month.
Right.
But like phone sex, I'm available a couple times a day. So
Right. Okay. So how did you make
some people like my voice.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. And how did you, I guess, make that transition, or how were you so aware to drop off the things that weren't working, that kind of like maybe they got played out as far, because time and things change, and people want new things, and how do you gauge what you need to keep?
I mean, numbers, obviously, like, if you're making really good money at one thing, you want to put your attention, your focus there. But it takes a little bit more than that, too. You have to have like a little bit of like foresight to see where technology is going and where the industry is going, and like how people choose to watch their porn and why they choose to watch porn in that specific way, and kind of think about things like that. And also a lot of knowledge about new products and new platforms that are out. And, if you can be at the foundation of a new platform and help it grow, that's always like great to be in that position as well, especially with like affiliate sales and stuff like that too.
As far as technology goes, have you dabbled into the whole VR porn realm?
Read my fucking mind,
How do you see that becoming a big boom? Where do you see that going?
We've been doing it for a long time now, and it hasn't taken off like we all expected it to, right?
'Cause they even have fleshlights that sync to the...
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I've been in maybe half a dozen VR scenes. They're incredibly difficult to shoot.
Well, how was it like? Because I'm thinking it's a 360 camera.
I'll be honest, it's fucking horrible.
Like, how is it?
Yeah, so I'm going to pretend that you are my male talent, right?
Say less.
So we're going to be about this far apart the entire time.
Don't like that.
I don't like that either. And then there's like a scaffolding kind of situation with two GoPro looking things like here. And then they got little fake ears on it. And so I have to look at the camera and I have to talk into the little fake ears. And meanwhile, you're just marinating over there and I'm using your penis.
What?
Like a piece of meat.
Yeah. So like, we're connected like
Right.
in this kind of way.
Right.
We're here, but
Right.
then there's like a thing here that I can't even look at you and I have to look at this other thing.
Maybe I've never seen a VR,
It
but that's
sucks.
yeah.
Not my favorite
Yeah.
reenactment.
So it's
That
difficult.
sounds horrible.
Yeah. So besides my personal opinion on it, like it's difficult to shoot. It's costly to shoot. So there's not
Cameras
as
are way more expensive, I'm sure.
yeah. It is, but they've come down a lot in price. I think it's just more like pain in the butt,
Right.
like
The
you have to have
logistics
like
of it.
a scaffolding, like so just to put that a little further, we can't naturally transition
What do you
from
mean?
one
Like
position to
positions.
another.
Oh, yeah, you have to cut.
Let's say we're doing mish, just like we were doing mish just a second ago.
Uh-huh.
If you want to do doggy, we have to cut. And actually, we can't even really do doggy for that long because you can't see my face. So we'd have to do doggy, but only for a few minutes. You turn it around, you have to cut and move everything around. And then, like, if you want cowgirl, it has to cut and move everything around. It's not natural at all. But people do like it, and the people that are like that have the technology, they really dig it. It's growing so slow. It's super difficult to shoot. The technology hasn't advanced to the point where like it's very common yet. I mean, there's still a lot of people who don't have VR.
Yeah, they're still not accessible. Like
Right.
I was in Walmart or Target the other day, $300 I think for a
Yeah.
VR set, like
And-
Oculus, I think.
Yeah.
And also sometimes technology like that is like hard for some more simple people to like wrap their head around,
Right.
Like, I'm not shitting on anybody's simpleness, but sometimes it's hard, Like I just, I released my first NFT, not to change the subject, but I released my first NFT last week, and to explain an NFT and to have people like understand what it is, it's hard. Technology can be like a little challenge for people sometimes.
For sure.
Yeah, financially a challenge, and also like just the comprehension of it.
Are you personally into that, into the advancement of like for NFT, cryptos, all that? I know it's it's a big popping topic right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I just went to the Bitcoin convention this week.
Um,
It was it was the biggest one in the world.
How was that?
It was cool. Like I learned a lot of information, and I was really just there to kind of like absorb like a sponge. I'm not in any I'm not educated in any kind of way in this, so I do invest in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and I have my NFT, and so like I'm a little bit versed with it, but I feel that one way some sort of metamorphosis is going to come from this whole crypto thing, and it's going to change our world like completely. I don't know what that is, but something is going to come of that and completely change our world.
I saw Salvador
I was about to say,
made.
El Salvador.
They're trying to make the
They already made
Bitcoin.
They already made it
official currency.
yeah.
Oh, El Salvador.
El Salvador.
Oh,
So it's the
wow.
third line of currency that they work with now, right? Because they have their peso, I'm assuming is what it's
The
called,
US
the
dollar.
US dollar
US dollar.
and
And now
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Which allowing a country allowing a cryptocurrency to be considered a legal tender is interesting.
It's very interesting.
Because obviously, I think these things will like you said, this will transform into something else because they're gonna have to find a way to regulate. That's really what's gonna change.
The regulation is gonna be
mind-boggling.
intense. Yeah,
You know?
and it is mind-boggling to. I'm glad I'm not in charge of that.
Because with money, it's easy.
Yeah.
I have it. Right now,
Right.
it's in an Excel spreadsheet, and then that's how we know what the fuck's going on with this
Right.
money. But with this, it's just
It's hard for people to wrap their
There's no
brains
control.
around the first part, and then you want to keep it decentralized because that's the glory
That's
of
the
it.
point,
Yeah,
right.
which that becomes like super challenging at times. You know, when you come across certain transactions and stuff. So, and then the environmental aspects of it. You know, there's a lot, but it's coming, and it's might be slow, but it's coming, and you need to be ready for it.
yeah. It is a little concerning to me though when because yesterday I heard the El Salvador news. They passed the law, so it's one of their legal tenders, but it's concerning to me specifically in South and Central America because part of the reason they have to be doing it is because they're so poor and their major industries in a lot of these countries are not legal, right? A lot of criminal activity.
Yeah.
You have drugs, sex
Totally.
trafficking, whatever it is, but that money doesn't legally get spent or get taxed in that country. So this is a way to get bypass that. That's really what's going on.
Right.
Which they need to make their money, right?
Right.
They're super poor, but I don't know, it's going to be interesting because for the US to accept it, for the EU to accept it, there is going to have to be some sort of regulating. They're going to have some sort of oversight. Even if it's just an illusion of it, they're going to have some sort of oversight over it. So it's going to be, I don't know, it's very interesting to see what's going on.
Sarah, I need to know. You know, there's one thing that I've heard for years and years and years on end, and I need to know if it's factual or false. Are there fluffers on set? Bro, I need to
I thought
know
you were going to
this.
ask if size mattered, but I like that question
We're
more.
definitely heading there. We're
like
heading there.
that question
She said
more,
7
though.
inches or less, which is, you know, was it 7 or 8?
Yeah, I said 7. You know.
I'm out. I have to punch my card.
You know, yeah, there are. I mean, just not all the time. It's like on an occasion, like say if there's going to be like a gangbang or like some sort of difficult thing where like the guy needs to be hard and he might have a challenge staying hard, like
Like a POV scene with a dude hanging over me.
I was thinking more like maybe something outside, like where you're going to be like all day outside, or like a photo shoot, for example. Like a photo shoot, you probably would need a fluffer because the guy needs to stay hard the whole time.
Walk me through, what does a fluffer actually mean, right? Is it
Right.
someone there caressing you? Is it like a hot
Yeah.
naked woman just like posing for
Do
you?
they
What is
play
that?
play-
No,
do they-
whatever
do
you
they
need
play
to keep
PlayStation
yourself
with you?
hard. Yeah, like
Okay.
you know, we're like I've fluffed before.
Okay. It makes it sound like you're fluffing pillows.
Kind of like this,
Like that.
right? So yeah, you know, I fluffed one of my first scenes that I witnessed. I guess it was a girl who was new in the industry and she'd never done anal, and she really wanted to work with this particular photographer, and he was, you want to work for me? You're gonna have to work with this like giant cock. So she was like, yeah, sure, whatever.
And that's her first run in
Yeah,
anal?
it was her and Lexington Steele, and Lex
Wow.
is, yeah, and
Ooh, that sounds
she-
familiar. Lexington.
Yeah, he's very large. He's 11 inches, and
Put
yeah,
the phone down.
yeah, 11 inches. And this is like her first anal, right? And I was like, good luck with that, girl. She's like, do you mind being there? And I was like,
For emotional support.
right? Like, I mean, I already knew, like, I was going to be there for her emotional support for her. Like, it's okay. And then for him, I was going to be like, it's okay, you know? So, yeah.
11 inches.
It definitely
bro.
happens. It's not like a commonplace, but it happens like when necessary, you know?
Wow.
I
Sometimes,
feel like at that side, you need
No.
a fluffer, right? Can you ever get truly like rock hard at that size?
Yeah, totally.
Really? Sure. I feel like I'd pass out.
I mean,
That's a lot of blood
he's 6'5". He's got a lot of blood.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
Yeah, because for me, 11
It's not
inches
like
down
I was
to my
gonna
fucking
say
knee.
it's not like he's 5 foot. You know?
Yeah. Because you're losing a foot right there just off your height. You know? Like,
Dude, 11 inches.
yeah, dude.
I'm down to my knee.
Oh my
it's
God.
ridiculous.
Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, every single week we have three segments. You know what I'm talking about? And the second one is actually the movie review of the week. You know what I'm talking about? And in this segment, we ask our illustrious, beautiful guests for a suggestion. You know what I'm talking about? A recommendation. Bro, that's 24 ain't shit, bro. That's a yardstick.
That's what it looks like,
That's
bro.
a yardstick. That's what it looks like. But a suggestion, you know what I'm saying? A movie, a TV show. I mean, Angelina suggested, an adult film herself. Anything that if you could suggest to the masses that you would give 5 stars, what would it be?
Oh wow, 5 stars.
I can see the phone sex appeal right there.
Right?
Right
Yeah.
there. Oh,
that's
right
true.
there.
I could see it.
Do you like that?
I remember as a
Does
kid,
that work for you?
when someone told me about the phone sex as a kid, I immediately was like, what's the number? And it was
What's the
actually
number?
in DMS. We went to middle school together. It was in that middle school, and they were like, bro, there's this phone sex thing. And at first, I was like, why would you have sex with a phone? And they're like, no, dude, you talk to them. I was like, give me the phone number right now. And thank God they gave me this bit of information as I was walking over. They're like, by the way, it costs you like, I don't know, 30 cents a minute or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, can you pay cash? Right? Again, technology. This was
Right.
before smartphones.
You're like,
so
what
I was
if I
still like,
just
what does that
mail them
mean?
like a $20 bill?
I was thinking I can write him
Write
a
a
check or
check
some shit,
for-
right? But oh yeah, I mean I had money back then. I mean I was
Hell
selling
yeah.
Playboys.
Yes,
We
he
had
was.
the craps operation in school.
Oh my God.
And then he was like, "No, it gets charged your phone bill." And I was like, "If you hadn't have told me this,
I'd be in trouble.
I'd have showed up in 5 weeks without hands. My mother would have
Yeah.
mutilated me." Like, I mean, thank God, because I was legit. I was like, "Oh shit, hell yeah, I'm gonna go fuck this up later." And he was like, "Oh, by the way, they charge you." What?
Wait a minute.
You open with this. You open with this information because I think I was maybe 11, maybe 12. Actually, it was Melman that told me.
Respect.
Bubbles, shout out Bubbles.
Big shout out.
You saved
Big
me
shout
on that
out.
one, dude.
Big shout out.
Well, to answer your question, I have thought of like numerous things in the last 2 minutes. I don't have even. Yeah, they're all even.
Okay.
I recently got turned on to a TV show called Love, Death, and Robots.
I've heard about it.
I've seen a couple episodes.
Watch that.
Did you watch it? No.
seen a
It's
couple
on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Is it animated?
It's
Yes.
animated.
Okay.
They're all different. They're short stories,
Mm-hmm.
between 10 and 20 minutes. Each episode is between 10 and 20 minutes. I love the fact it's fast. Some of them are a little creepy. Some of them are a little weird.
Some were hilarious.
But yeah, very artsy and stuff,
Okay.
and lots of different types of animation. Some of the animation, you're like, is this animated or is this real? You
Yes,
can't tell.
some of it is legit.
shit.
Good.
And some of it's just like really entertaining, but very creative. Like I was shocked. Like that show's great. I watched all of them twice. It's 2 seasons. I watched all of them twice
Yeah.
within like a week.
It's a series
Yeah.
of shorts. You would like it. It's like short
Yeah,
films.
I love
Really
Kind of
good.
like a Black Mirror or Twilight Zone-ish,
Okay,
like
very
little warped,
cool.
twisted a little
Yeah.
bit,
Yeah.
right? It's really good though.
All right, very
And
cool.
all the episodes are about either love, death, or robots, or a combination.
Or a combination.
Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
So I just watched that, and I just watched Promising Young Woman.
I haven't heard. Where is it on? Is it on Netflix?
No, Amazon or HBO
Amazon?
Max
One of
or
those,
something. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not sure. I you know what? I paid for it because I rented it on Amazon.
Okay.
I paid like what $5.99.
it's
to
a new
rent it or
movie. It
whatever.
came out last
it's new.
year.
Really good.
Yeah?
Also a little dark,
Okay.
but really, really, really good. Yeah. It's like this girl who's had like she's been jilted, I guess is the word. We've all got our bruises from love or whatever, and she's had some moments, and so then she decides to kind of like get revenge. So like one night a week she gets dressed up and she goes out to the club and acts like she's drunk and waits for some guy to take advantage of her.
Oh, I have heard about this show.
I'm not gonna go any further. Just leave that there. But no, it's good though. It's really good.
Okay,
It's really
wow.
really good. And then like my
Sounds kinda scary.
classic, it's it's almost a thriller, like almost. It's not as creepy as you think it is, but it's very good. It's very entertaining.
Okay.
And then like my classic favorite movie of all time is Coming to America.
Oh,
Yeah, and
You see the second one though?
I did see the second one.
Good, worth it.
I mean, no. But I wouldn't throw it away. Like there's some second ones where you're like, let's just pretend that didn't exist. It was, I
Like
feel.
the Dumb and Dumber.
right.
Hot Tub Time Machine?
Oh,
Hot Tub Time Machine 1's amazing.
Hilarious.
So
But we
good.
don't even want to acknowledge. No.
That's where it ended. That's where it
It's
ended.
over. So, Coming to America, the cool thing is on my birthday this year, this whole COVID thing was still really prevalent. And I was able to rent out the movie theater. And
I know. I heard they were doing
You
that.
should have
Right?
taken advantage, man.
Oh, 100%.
We,
It was like
we
$1.50 or
also
something.
watched Super Bowl at the movie theater too.
Damn.
You should have done that. It was really cheap too.
Yo, Copa America at the movie theater. Was
Yeah.
good, though.
Yeah, it was
Down.
like $80 during the week and like 150 on the weekends or something. And
That's
20
chilling.
people get to go.
That's
What?
nothing.
Nuts. And they play off the Fire Stick. So they were like, yeah, watch anything you want to watch off their Fire Stick. And I was like,
And
cool.
you get it for like 3 hours, something
What
like
would
that.
happen if
Yeah.
you put one of your films,
I mean, it's private, so I guess they don't
They
care.
can't say anything.
Dude,
Not
orgy.
really.
right? That's a great segue. Great segue,
Run it.
actually. And actually, before we go into the next segue, how many stars would he give all these glorious films and TV
All
shows?
of them 5s,
Beautiful.
like except for Coming to America 2, which gets like 2.5.
Right.
I've been looking at
Maybe
it on my Amazon Prime thing, and I look at it for a little while, and I'm like, the first one was so good, dude.
Watch it. Go ahead and watch it. It's entertaining. You won't watch it twice though.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's
I could totally
definitely
see that.
entertaining. There's probably like 40 cameos.
Yeah,
Oh,
I heard
wow.
You
fan
could like I
service.
kind of want to watch it again and have like a drinking party, and every time there's like a cameo, like take a shot, because there's sometimes you don't even realize like Rick Ross is in it. I didn't even see Rick Ross the
What?
first time. I had to like rewind it. I'm like, where? Who? I don't see him. Like there's so many cameos. Like I think they got all of Black Hollywood. Like everybody.
I heard everyone that was in the old one that was still alive and able did they had an
Absolutely.
appearance.
But then also like probably 30 to 40 other stars.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
No, totally
The
watch
first
it. I
one
mean, I
was
might give it
so
a 3.
good, though.
Yeah, don't compare it to the first one. It feels like a gimmick. Like I'll be honest,
Yes.
it doesn't feel
can see
bad, but it feels very gimmicky.
Okay.
Like,
Which is a shame.
there is a strong female role model. Like it's just very like they did everything they were supposed to
hitting the
do.
points.
They hit
Yeah.
all the
Right.
points. They
All the
invited.
points.
Yes, it was very strong black role models, strong female role models. Like they hit all those points. They brought everybody back. They just had a lot of star power, but it was not the first one.
That's so disappointing.
Gotcha. That is pretty disappointing. Sarah, talk to us about, do you think that someone who's starting in the industry, or not even starting, is in the industry, do you think that they're valued a little bit more or higher if they are willing to partake in a different types of scenes, group scenes, anal scenes, etc. Whereas maybe there's someone who just wants to do boy girl or girl girl or whatever.
I think the term valued is maybe not the right term, because you should just, whatever you do it really good. And then
Right.
people will value you for doing that. Like I suck amazing dick.
Respect.
Like I'm like the best. Like I can actually say that and feel pretty confident, like I'm cream of the crop when it comes to dick sucking, and I do it really well. But that doesn't mean that I'm valued more or less than somebody who's amazing at anal.
Right.
Like it is what it is. I mean, you definitely get paid different, obviously. But if you're doing, 5 anal scenes a week and I'm doing 10 blowjob scenes a week, like, doesn't really matter, right? So I just think that you should just do whatever you do really good. Like, and I always tell people not to do things that they feel uncomfortable doing. Do things that you really, really like to do. You'll never regret anything that you do in the adult industry if you're only doing things you enjoy,
Has there ever been a moment where you did something to step out of your comfort zone and, it really didn't pay off?
Yeah, totally. But sometimes you don't know until you do it. And then you're like,
course.
I'm actually never going to do that again. I've told this story a couple of times. Like I used to smoke cigarettes. I quit smoking when I was 24. I smoked for 12 years. I started smoking when I was 12 years old, and I smoked until I was 24, and I was up to like 3 packs a day. So it was like, it was an issue. It was an issue for me.
And you cold turkey?
I cold turkey quit really strong, and it was probably one of the most difficult things I ever did in my life. Yeah, for sure. I'd probably quit for maybe like 6 months, and I get booked to do a group of solo scenes, and I show up at the place, and they're kind of going over the list of scenes that we're shooting today. It was all solo scenes, and there was like a smoking fetish in there. And I was really like upset, but I didn't like voice that because it's not their problem. That's my problem, you know? And I'm like in the bathroom and I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? Do I just like walk away? I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but then they might cancel the rest of my day's scenes. And then like, maybe I should just do it because it's cigarettes and it's not a really big deal. I smoked for 12 years, like just fucking hold a cigarette for 20 minutes. Like just do it, you know? And so I talked myself into it and I was just like, just do it. Just, you know, but it was very challenging for me as somebody who had a problem with cigarettes before, you know? And I did it and I was like miserable the whole time and I wanted to cry and I didn't cry and I like did it. But now when I see that scene, I'm like, I can tell.
You can see the uncomfortable.
I can tell I was super upset. Yeah. I don't know what everybody else thinks, but I'm like, you know,
I'm sure a lot of people were like, ooh, I like this.
No, I've gotten requests. I'm like, no, I don't do that anymore.
So they like that scene then.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes, yeah. Like if you've got a smoking fetish, and that's the only smoking fetish scene I have out there.
This is the first time in my life I have ever found out that there was a smoking fetish.
There's a fetish for everything.
Oh, right. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I also
There's
assumed
like a
that,
nose
but
fetish.
I've never heard anyone being
A
like,
what?
"Oh yeah, smoking fetish."
Yeah.
A nose
so
fetish?
I've tried to like kind of give them a little bit of something, the smokers. Like I'll do like hookah. I've done a couple hookah scenes with hookah, which is fine. But like, yeah, the cigarette thing, that's my crack. I can't, like, I'm good on that.
But what does that mean, right? A smoking fetish, what does that mean? Do you masturbate with the cigarette? Or are you holding it while you're pleasuring yourself?
That. They like you to like hold it while you're playing, maybe blow into the camera, you know. Yeah.
What are some fetishes that you've been requested that you personally enjoy?
Everybody wants to see me covered in oil. Like,
okay.
Like everybody
like
wants to see me covered in oil, which is cool. Like I like it and it's cool, but I've done so much of it this past year because I've been at home camming, you know, like everybody wants to see me covered in oil. I'm like a little bit over it right now, but it's very nice though. Like I do like it and I get it and I'm into it, but I'm just like a little tired of it right now.
Okay.
But like the oil thing is probably like one of the number one fetishes that I get into. Yeah, like I'm not a super fetishy person. Like I will entertain other people's fetishes because I'm a pleaser and I like to make people happy. But
Amen.
yeah, but and most of it, you know, as long as it's not hurting anybody and it doesn't offend me and I like doing it, it's fine. But yeah, I like big butts.
Okay.
And I cannot
Yeah,
lie.
I like big butts on guys and girls. I just like a nice butt. You
know, it's just been brought to my attention that I have lost my butt and it genuinely crushed me. It hurt. I know.
Squats.
So my grandma
Hit that
first was
Smith
messing with me.
machine.
She's like, 1, you're pale. 2, you don't have an ass anymore. And I was like, yeah, whatever. She always makes fun of me.
Yeah.
And then this girl I was kind of talking to is like, yeah, you need to work on your ass. I told her that. I was like, look at what this chick's saying. My grandmother, look at what this bitch said, you know?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, you don't have an ass. I'm like, oh,
damn.
How dare you?
My grandma used to call it this disease, no acetol.
No acetol. Yeah. Apparently I suffer from it right now.
Yeah, my apparently I didn't know her back then because I wasn't born yet. But apparently when my grandma was a young lady, she had a nice butt. And then like she would stand in the mirror as an old lady with me next to her and she'd be like, look at this. I got no acetol. She's like, this disease just came on.
Yeah, it hurt me. I started doing squats at home. Like I gotta get back in it because I got thick thighs. Yeah. And with no ass, it just looks horrible.
God.
Gotta get back on it.
Do you see the working out? Do you see that be a constant thing in the industry? It being a requirement to maintain an image, a certain quote unquote standard, whatever that may be. Is that prevalent in the industry or not as much?
More and more every day.
Wow.
When I first started, porn was not widely accepted by people. And the people
We
who
accepted it.
I
Yeah.
know. And the people that did it were like outliers, you know? So like that's how we get the Ron Jeremys and whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Like
right.
do I have to
Ron
spell
Jeremy
this out?
spit game.
Right.
Yeah, you
right.
know? And so there wasn't as much competition. And over the years, it's gotten more and more accepted by the globe as like something that we watch and something that we enjoy and maybe sometimes something that we do.
Right.
And so there's more and more competition and between the guys and between the girls. But it's definitely, as a female, you can definitely tell with the guys because all my male performers have gotten better looking over the years, which is super cool.
If you ever need a Ron Jeremy stunt double, you know what I'm saying? Holler at your boy.
Yeah. So I do feel like either working out or surgery, but some sort of like appearance checkup is like way more important than it ever used to be.
Right.
Has it ever been required though? Or is it just something that you notice is a trend so you kind of follow
Yeah,
it?
I think it's just a trend. Like, you know, maybe some of the bigger companies might ask you to bulk up or slim down or something for like a specific role. Like I know that there's some of these larger companies that I don't really usually do a lot of work for that will have like parodies and stuff. So maybe like if you've got to be Superman, like you should probably do a couple sit-ups or something.
You gotta get your shit together. if you're
Yeah,
Superman.
do a couple sit-ups.
Hey, Clark Kent, let's fucking
Yeah,
get
they're
it
not
together.
calling me for Superman.
Right? But yeah, and also stamina. Like I'm 43. I'm very proud 43.
Respect.
But like as I get older, I find that working out is like mandatory because I have to keep up with these young 20-year-old boys. You know, like just like stamina, energy, reverse cowgirl, you know? Like,
Yeah,
That's a lot of-
sometimes I'm like,
That's a lot of core work,
right?
you know?
That
Like,
quads,
core,
knees,
the quads,
yeah.
the freaking calves gotta be burning, dude.
It's mostly knees. Yeah, it's like
Damn.
the
Yep.
knees. Yeah, squatting on dick and yeah, a lot of knees.
do they take care? I mean, do you wear knee pads, anything at all?
Sometimes
Towels
they,
on the floor?
Yeah, I was gonna say sometimes they offer like pillows or towels on the floor if it works out.
Okay, for sure, for
Not
sure.
usually.
You know what I'm saying?
You just suffer.
Suffer.
Have you ever seen like a cramp mid-set, like a real cramp where the dude's like, oh,
Oh, we've had to stop. Yeah, that's definitely like that happens regularly. Like me
Y'all
or
need to
him, one
hydrate.
of us, I'll be like, oh, hold on. I got a pain in my knee. You know, or like you know, one of the girls that I manage, she's got a bad back and we all know that she's got a bad back at any given moment. We could just have to stop this moment.
Man.
Yeah. We
Eat
might
a
have to
banana,
stop.
guys.
Yo,
Yeah.
for real, eat a damn banana, get a little magnesium.
Chiropractor.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. Oh my
You know,
god.
a little cortisol shot here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I actually
Anthony went.
I had to start going to physical therapy this year because I've got bursitis in my hip from
Oh
impact.
wow.
Repeated blunt force trauma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like a lot of use, you know.
Shout out Diesel.
Yeah, for sure.
But when I contacted the physical therapist, you know, it's always like a little touchy subject, you know, like your job kind of thing, right? And you just have, but there's no way around it. He needs to know what caused this problem, you know.
Right.
He
And-
knows.
Yeah, like
He's
we're on the phone.
familiar.
I'm like interviewing him for the first time. Like
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just Sarah at this point.
Oh, right,
And
right.
I was like, well, my job is very physical. And he's a sports therapist, right? And I contacted him because my injury is similar to a sports injury, you know, where it's like constant impact, and also I can't stop doing what I'm doing. You
Right.
know, it's an injury where it's not like you can just be like, don't do that anymore.
Right.
Oh, and there's no off season.
There's no off season.
No, yeah.
No.
There's no
So,
draft. No.
yeah, it was cool though, because like he was able to, you know, help me in the same way he would help an athlete with like, okay, so obviously you're going to be doing these things anyway. Here's some exercises and here's some things to do to make the pain less and to, you know, manage the problems.
Wow. You know, it sounds like you've gotten a lot of support from all sorts of places. Has there ever been a situation where, I don't know, you had a fan who was a little bit too much and you know, you needed to not have him have, you know, contact to you or access to you, or maybe there was somebody, you know, in the middle of the day who recognized you and just started berating you for what it is that you do. Has anything like that ever happened?
All the time, yeah.
For
like,
real?
Yeah, all the time. I mean, I'm very thankful to all these wonderful block buttons that we have on all these social medias.
Right.
Like, I love the block button because I'm very non-confrontational. I can just hit block and then you're gone out of my life forever. It's like you never existed. It's amazing. So yeah, I love block buttons, and sometimes things happen in person, and I have security that is with me probably 70% of the time. So I have that, and then I have like a secured building, and all that kind of stuff is good too for safety and stuff
definitely.
like that.
It's ridiculous that it has to get to that, though.
Right.
I mean, it is, but also expected. Like, think about zealous fans with mainstream stars, right?
With like a singer or something.
Yeah, like I'm not that. But you know me in a much more intimate way.
Yeah,
you
for
actually
sure.
feel like you know me.
Right.
No, I'm not like up here to, like Julia Roberts or,
You are,
I mean,
though.
maybe to some people also, but in another way, though, like you've had intimate moments with me, like in your
Oh, yeah,
head.
that makes sense, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So like you feel like we're connected. You think that I feel maybe a little bit more than I do for you.
Which is zero.
Right.
Which is
I mean,
zero.
no, I feel like this
Patouche,
much.
what we're saying,
Right.
Patouche, is knock it down with the
Yeah,
intro
yeah.
stuff. Take it down a peg.
Right.
Okay, just calm down.
Right. It's like that guy at the strip club. You only dance for me, right, baby?
Yeah, okay, so like
Yeah.
I'm at the Bitcoin thing, and I wanted to go with security, but I couldn't get my security a ticket because they were dumb expensive, and so it just is what it is. So I went with a photographer, and he had to do like his photography thing, and so I'm kind of like left to myself in the Bitcoin place, and it's not as crazy as you would think because a lot of the Bitcoin nerds are a little bit like, I said nerds, I'm
More
sorry.
reserved.
They're very intimidated by me, So it kind of was like I was walking through the room just parts, and everybody's like, oh.
Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
I know, and everybody's just kind of looking like, oh. But very few people actually approached me, and a guy did approach me, and he was like, I know who you are. He goes, none of these
Don't
other,
tell anyone,
he
don't
was
tell
like,
anyone.
none of these other guys know who you are, but I know who you are. And I was like, babe. Everybody in here knows who I am.
Yeah,
Oh
because
my
I think we can
God.
make the argument that you could, depending on the circles you're moving, you could arguably be more famous. Because I've seen
Yeah.
maybe 10, 12 Julia Roberts movies.
Freedom Riders, banger.
No idea what that is.
Oh,
So
right.
maybe less than 10 movies, I guess. The Oceans. I've seen her in
Right.
the Oceans.
Yeah.
But,
there's the Hooker
I've
movie.
seen more of
I
your
never
movies.
remember the name. The Hooker movie.
with
the guy.
With the guy.
Greer. Richard Greer, right?
fuck, what's it called?
Pretty Woman.
Pretty
Yeah,
Woman.
yes,
Yes.
Pretty Woman.
Pretty
And then
Woman.
there's the lawyer movie with some sort of like fracking or some problem, right? It was based on a real story.
Oh, with Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah,
The
maybe.
Lincoln Lawyer.
No,
Is that it?
not that one.
No, bro.
But
A lawyer.
And Sam Jackson too. It's the one where
Yeah.
Sam Jackson's daughter gets beaten and raped, I think, in the South. I think
no, that's a
one.
different one, I think. Yeah.
You see, but I don't remember
Yeah,
the movies.
no,
That's my
no,
point.
right,
But I know
that's
your
my point
movies.
too. Right,
And
exactly.
I know your movies.
That's facts. What do you consider yourself, a movie buff?
No, not really. I like movies, but I wouldn't consider myself a movie buff. I have shit fuck memory. Like I'll be like,
Hey,
yeah,
man.
it was good or it wasn't good. I can't remember any details.
Yeah,
sorry.
unless it's really good. Then we're like, okay.
right.
So what's the ideal weekend for you? Are you more of a stay-at-home type of guy, or are you going clubbing and bars and Wynwood and this and that, or South Beach or whatever the case?
Shout out Oasis and Aladoro.
Shout out Aladoro. Try those sandwiches. They will change your life. They're on the Shane Diesel spectrum of greatness, all right?
That
I
was
will
the
tell
11
you.
inches I would
Right.
gladly take.
I took down those 11 inches like nobody's business.
I love that. That's great. I'm a little bit like I'm a dinner and go home kind of girl. Like so
Okay.
I like to go out. Let's go to a late dinner. Let's have a couple drinks and then go home.
Right.
Yeah. Like I don't need to go to a club anymore. Like
Right.
I'm 43. Like what am I doing at a fucking club? Like I was at a club last night for this private party and I was like, what am I doing here? So yeah, not the club. Definitely, I'm a foodie, so like good food.
Okay.
Like I like a nice cocktail menu. If you pick a place with like a nice cocktail menu and a nice menu, I don't like buffets, but I like tapas, which is kind of like the same.
Okay.
Like eat a little this, a little that, a little this, a little that. You know, a little sushi.
Well, then Alidoro is the move because they do sandwiches, so you can get like partial sandwiches. So you get a few of them.
Okay.
Oh my god, the sandwiches.
They came last week. They brought some sandwiches. Oh my god.
Nice.
They,
Tough.
See, I always fuck with sugar cane is for tapas. Like if I want tapas, I go to sugar cane.
okay, yeah.
I love
All right,
sugar
that's
cane.
fire.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know what I'm talking about. Every single week we have three segments. You know what I'm talking about. And the last one is actually the quest for the truth. You know what I'm talking about. And in this segment, I pick a random, emphasis on the word random, card from this here deck of cards. And I ask not only our beautiful, illustrious guest before us today, but everybody in the studio. You know what I'm talking about.
Deception. It's
We
not
did this
random.
one last week, all right? We did this one already. All right.
Dude,
Sarah.
There's like 100 cards, and we've had like 60 of them. We've done the majority of them.
Yeah.
There's 150.
Oh,
It says it on
so
the
we done
box.
half.
Yeah. He's known to lie about the numbers. 11 inches. You know what I'm saying? Sarah, what is your love language?
What does that mean?
So there's physical touch. I think there's 5. There's physical. There's acts of affection. No, acts of affection is physical. There's giving gifts. There's spending time with you. What are the last 2?
Like you're educating me on some.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Oh,
I thought you were gonna say touch, smell, sight.
Right, that's where I was
know
too.
what?
Huh? What?
take the reins while I Google the love language.
Love language. My
I know.
first thought was
And then-
English, bro. Spanish, baby.
And then is it like the love language that I would like to speak in or receive? Like,
French.
Receive.
okay.
Oh, receive. So like you're saying, like would I prefer someone be physically affectionate with me or like emotionally supportive? Or something
So
like
here
that?
it is. Sorry.
Yeah.
So it's words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, gifts, or touch.
I need all that.
Respect.
But
Fact.
Speaking of buffets.
that goes back to like my love life and like my the way that I have my life set up. Like I don't expect all that from one person though. Like let's get one. Let's do. Everybody's good.
apiece.
Everybody's good at something. So
Yeah.
everybody picks a lane.
Right. I'll be words of affirmation. I like that blouse.
Oh,
you know what I'm
thank
saying?
you.
Boom.
I appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying?
And you might get your dick stopped.
Oh my God. I love how it works.
That's how
Bro,
it works.
Oh my God. The love
I was
language.
too slow. I
Bro,
was too
the love
slow
language.
to the drop.
Guys,
Hold
love
on.
language, it works.
Hold on, there was one that was hold on, let me see.
1 through 5.
I'll take acts of service. Thank you very much. I will take acts of service.
My feet.
You're too slow, bro.
Acts of service is like giving you breakfast in the morning.
Yeah.
Or blowjobs. You know, we've all seen those videos of the morning blowjobs. So
I want a
you know.
massage,
Respect.
sir.
Oh, okay,
And
all
pretty
right.
good massage.
Yeah.
Ignacio, what would be your love language, sir?
I mean, if I had to pick, I'll pick 2 acts of service. And
2 is go ahead.
And the physical one,
Touch.
touch. Yeah.
That you want to receive.
Acts of that you want to receive. Acts of service and touch.
He's a physical kind of guy. He's
Yeah.
like make it happen.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
That I want to receive is probably there was one that was just like presents, right? Like just being
Gifts?
there.
No.
No,
Gifts is
not
literally-
presents. Like just the presence, the physical.
quality
presence.
time.
Quality time. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I don't need everything else.
I would say
Just be
gifts
there.
is probably like the bottom of the list, but I feel
Yeah.
like gift is nice sometimes.
I would love a sugar mama. What?
Not, I mean,
God.
like I would like to. I'm a gift buyer, so
Respect.
yeah, throw it back. Yeah,
Of
like
course.
I love buying people gifts. There's not much
I
I like.
hate buying people gifts. 'Cause I'm terrible at it.
If I get
Okay,
a gift, I have to
so-
give a gift.
Yes.
So follow me here. Maybe you'll make it easier for you to give gifts if you don't give gifts on the specific holiday, because the holiday puts the pressure, right? And you're like,
Right.
oh my
I
God,
do
I
that.
gotta do it like right now. So like just get him something when you
Mm-hmm.
think of him. So like I don't really celebrate a lot of holidays, and my friends are very patient with me on that. A lot of times, I just forget and shit. So
What is it, Christmas? No.
but like on a regular Tuesday, I might see some cool shit that reminds me of you, and I'm like, hey, come on over. I got a gift for you. I just bought it. You know?
Yeah,
That's
right.
just
That's
I'm a
fucking cool.
big gift giver, but yeah, you know, receiving gifts is nice, but not mandatory.
Wow. All right, for
Yeah,
sure.
probably just quality time because I am super low profile and all that stuff. I don't need anything. So I assume, and that's not true. I whatever I see that you're into, I'll do that. But
Oh, you're a pleaser.
yeah, because for me, I don't need shit. I don't need the affirmation. If you're there, okay, you're there, but I don't need any of that. Well, blowjobs.
For me, it's
Definitely.
probably touch. It's probably touch. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? That physical boom. You know, that hug, that Voldemort hug, boom, you're ready to go. You know what I'm saying?
I need somebody to compliment me on shit that I'm not complimented on regularly. Like I need that actually. It's something that I've decided as I've gotten older. Like, no, don't tell me I'm hot. Don't tell me I'm sexy. I know. Thank you.
Right.
But like, also tell me that you really liked my food that I cooked.
Right.
Or like that I smell nice.
Right. Because,
You
I mean,
know, like-
Rakesh could tell you that you look good. You know what I'm saying?
And he does.
And he does.
He does. Everybody does, and I'm very appreciative. Thank you. Please don't stop. But if I'm looking for like somebody special in my life, they would be complimenting me on some other stuff besides that.
Right, not the common stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Sarah, before we start wrapping up, I definitely want to know, you know, what are some things when you first got into the industry that you never would have imagined possible in a million years? You know, you went into your first scene, you made the guy nut hella fast, you know what I'm saying? Broke the world record.
Right.
You know, shout out Yuli the Monster. That's a 3-second knockout. You know, what were some things that you, after that first day, have happened and you're like, wow, I never thought that this could happen in a million years? Maybe a trip, maybe a scene, or maybe getting to meet someone, whatever the case.
Yeah, you know, I was probably at like my pinnacle of popularity around being 30, and I was also the same time I got divorced, and it was also the same time I moved to Miami.
Oh, wow.
And so it was my first time being single ever, and I was single as a porn star.
Wow. That's a lot.
So I got to meet and do a lot of cool shit, and I took full advantage of it. You know, I was a full-grown adult, so I was 30 years old, full-grown adult, making decent decisions. Not the best, but decent decisions. And I could totally take advantage of it. You know, I'm skipping lines, I'm going to clubs, I'm backstage at every single thing I can be backstage at. I'm meeting everybody, I'm doing everything. Yeah, that was probably the best.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. What's been your favorite trip so far, either for work or not work related at all?
I guess the most unique trip was when I went to New Zealand and Australia. That was really cool. I only went there once, and it was mind blowing because it's so far away. You know, it's hard for us to grasp because it's like so far away. But I go to Europe every year for a month. And how fucking cool is that, first of all? like, I love the fact that I can say that. Like, I go to Europe, it's like, you know, it's between 2 and 4 weeks. I go to Europe every year between 2 and 4 weeks. And it's super stressful. I'm always glad to leave and always glad to come home. And I really enjoy it. And it's just helped me be a better person. Just dealing with travel, dealing with different cultures and different people. And, you know, in Europe, you have so many different cultures and so many different countries and so many different people. So it's, and I always take the train. So I always take like public transportation while I'm there. Like I'll fly to like one city and then train the whole rest of the trip. And, yeah, just like very educational and eye-opening, and it makes me be patient and understanding, and I'm super thankful for it.
That's awesome.
That's fucking
That's
cool.
awesome.
Well, is there a big difference as far as like, you know, the fans that come up to you here in the U.S. and the fans that come up to you in Europe?
Fans are super regional, so it's like I can't even say from here to Europe, but like Miami fans are different than New York fans, which are different than Ohio fans, which are different than London fans, which are different than, you know, Prague fans. They're all different. Wow. Like, and it is weird how regional it is, though. It's definitely regional. Like, and I think part of it is on some like back end thing, like regionally what they had access to, what kind of porn they had access to, and maybe also cultures and how they grow up and how they talk to women, and I mean all these different things play a factor. But yeah, it's kind of neat. Like New York is always entertaining because people just like yell this shit out down the street. They're like, "Yo, what's up, Sarah Jay? I just jerked off you earlier."
And they say chivalry's dead. You know, I don't get it.
like New York is always funny because people are like so vocal, you know. You're just I walk down the street, I'm like, yeah, thank you.
That's hilarious because that's what everyone means when they're like, hey, Sarah J. That's what they mean. That's what they're saying in their head.
Yeah.
But that guy's like, hey.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's hilarious.
Oh my God. Do you see yourself dabbling again into the mainstream acting realm as well? What have been your 2 cents with that? Do you enjoy it? Would you like to do it more? Talk to me about that.
I never got into porn because I wanted to be an actor. If I wanted to be an actor, I would have got into acting, you know? Acting without sex kind of makes me feel a little uncomfortable, to be honest with you. Like, because I do what I do.
Right.
Like,
Force of habit too.
It would force habit for sure. But I'm good at sex. That's the part that I have the confidence in. That's the part where I feel like I shine. It's like when my clothes are off. So remembering lines and like that stuff scares me a little bit. I would not mind, and I would actually enjoy doing some shows where I play myself or play someone similar to myself, you know, because that would be a little bit more natural and make me feel more comfortable. But yeah, I didn't get into this just to be a mainstream actress. I got into this because I like to fuck. Okay, so if I'm not actually doing the fucking, I would like to, really just kind of push the envelope with exposing people to who Sarah J is and who porn stars are in adult entertainment. So like, if, I could play a role where I was myself, I'm totally into it, or someone similar.
Very cool. And you say who porn stars are. How could you best answer that? If someone were to ask you to encompass who a porn star is, how would you answer that?
It's a lot broader than I think a lot of people give us. They want to put us in a box and say that, we're a certain type, and we're definitely not. We're very different. After being in the industry 20 years, you've got women that are mothers. You've got women that are just free spirits, and, they're just full of wanderlust and curiosity. You've got women that are broken. And when I say broken, I mean come from a background of strife and struggle and maybe addiction, maybe low self-esteem.
Maybe abuse or something.
Maybe abuse. All these things happen. Right. But guess what? They all happen in every industry. Yeah, nurses, you could say the same thing. Course. Teachers, you could say the same thing. Bank tellers, you could say the same thing. And, I really get upset when people have this view that we are drug addicts and that we're obviously doing this for some sort of negative reason or whatever. And why I can't just like to fuck. I want to make money and fuck. People want to make money and paint. People want to make money and play basketball. Right. I want to make money and fuck. Is that
the American dream?
Yeah. Right. So I think it's easier to say what we're not, and we're not one thing. We're everything, just like every other industry is. Some of these girls, you can tell they were in drama club and they just really into the acting part, but they're also kind of sexy freaks. Everybody's got different personality, and we all do it for a different reason. And it's super fascinating to find out why and how and where you came from. But we're all very different. Please don't put us in a box.
Please don't put them in a box. Please do not put them in a box. Ladies and gentlemen, what an episode of colossal proportions today. You know what I'm talking about. Can we please give it up for our illustrious guest, Sarah J today. Oh my God. I cannot be happier about today's episode. Sarah, thank you so much for dropping on.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
And we get to say thank you in person.
Yes.
For carrying us all these years.
Yes.
That's awesome. Yes. I brought you guys some gifts.
Yes, she did.
I did.
Can we
I've
please?
got some little, we call them cum towels.
I love that.
This is my production company, Wide Side Productions.
And I was in the market for a cum towel too.
Yeah, you guys get cum towels.
Hell yeah.
And then I have a CBD line too, and so I brought you guys some bath bombs.
I love a bath bomb.
We got lavender and eucalyptus. They're 100 milligrams of CBD.
Oh, what's happening? I'm using this
And I brought some lighters. Sarah J Self-Care Collection lighters.
Can we please come on? We got the merch on deck. We cannot be.
I'm gonna swag this shit.
Emmy's got his cum towel ready to use, ready to go. You know, I need my cum towel. I need my cum towel in my shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Shane Diesel, baby.
Shout out JD.
God, what an episode for the masses of colossal proportions today, being joined by the very own SARA Jay. Thank you so much.
It's been my pleasure.
No, for sure. Last thing before we wrap up, I do want to, I always wrap up with a question. SARA, where do you see the future of the industry, and where do you see more so the future of your career in the next 5-10 years?
Industry is kind of a challenge right now because we, obviously we had this whole 2020 year kind of slowed down things, which made it a little bit harder to foresee the future maybe. But a big trend is that I feel like we're losing the middle of porn. So we've got like these large companies that make big productions, helicopters and expensive sets and extras and all this shit, right? And then there's like these people shooting porno on their phone, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And there's like a whole lot less in the middle.
Right.
So I feel like that's actually going to be more. I feel like it's going to be more big productions and more people shooting on their phone and less small production companies in the middle, Other than that, technology just keeps getting better and better and better. And like, I don't even know if we're going to need cameras anymore. We might all be shooting on our phone eventually,
right?
Yeah, with the quality cameras.
Right?
Yeah, it's kind of rough. Like I just bought a Blackmagic camera, but I also would like a new iPhone to shoot on too.
Right.
Like there's different
the
reasons.
portability, yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
Exactly. Like we shoot on location a lot, and so like pulling out a phone is so much easier than pulling out a whole thing. So yeah, I kind of feel like that we're gonna lose like the middle production companies a little bit more even. But as far as me goes, I'm gonna try to maintain that space. I consider myself a middle of the road production company, and I would like
a staple in the industry.
Yeah, and I make classic porn. Like the porn I make is not like gimmicky or anything like that. So like I make like classic porn, plumbers, doctors, lawyers, teachers, that kind of stuff.
Hell yeah.
A little pizza delivery.
Shit we grew up on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Exactly.
My specialty though, or like the thing that makes my company a little bit different, is that we make sure that it's very inclusive, as far as ethnicity goes. So like it won't just be white on white people or black on black people. Most likely, it'll probably be like all kind of mixed up people. I like diversity. Yeah. I think it's sexier and it's more beautiful, and I think it
more
promotes,
realistic too.
Right.
More realistic, promotes like unity and globalization, and so I always felt that like a lot of the classic porn titles were missing diversity. So that's what we do.
You hear that, Rakesh? There's a chance. There's a chance, Rakesh. You know what I'm saying? We get it popping. Every Thursday at midnight. What are you doing? You go on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? You go on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on Deezer, on he's got his cum rag.
Yeah, dude. Leave me my fucking merchandise.
iHeartRadio. There you go. You know what I'm saying? He's like, this is nice.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You check out the episode because every single Thursday we have a brand new guest, and it may just be the illustrious guest that is SARA Jay before us. And that's fire. That's real fire.
Right
that's
there.
real fire, and it works.
Come at me, fire marshals.
Come at me. You know what I'm saying? SARA, is there anything that you have for the people before we wrap up? Where can they follow your journey? Well, your journey, I mean, it's not even, you're already in the top. So I know
We've been following
your journey to the top. You're at the top already.
Top 25, ladies
top
and gentlemen.
25, boom. You see the Instagram on the screen. Where else can they, where can they follow you? Where can they,
do we have an
purchase?
OnlyFans?
Yeah.
Do we have a website?
So I have like a link portal. Takes you to all my good stuff. SarahJLinks.com. And it's got my official website, which is sarahj.com. It's got my OnlyFans. It's got all of my social media. So if they ever change, we'll change it on there. Like all the good stuff, t-shirts, merchandise like this, my CBD line, anything to do with me is at sarahjlinks.com.
Now, what if they're thinking about dabbling in the industry, male, female, whatever it is, or any of the other genders, I'm sorry if I forgot them. Where could they find you? Like, because you said you have a management company, you also do production. I'm sure you should do some direction, or directors. If they want to ask questions, or maybe they're interested in pursuing it further, do they go to the same website? Do you have an email?
Yeah, someone who
like
has no experience. How, today I want to be, hey, I'm the pizza delivery boy. You know what I'm saying? I want to fill in. Oh my God. How do I go about doing that? Yeah.
I always suggest to people to get some like experience on their own before they even reach out to any like production company. Like get involved with like a swinger group, like so you can start having sex in front of strangers, because that's
the hardest part.
That is one of the hardest parts, right? And then start filming yourself. Find somebody to shoot with, and start filming yourself so that way you can see how you look DMs, on camera. See, make sure you feel comfortable on camera. You like what you're putting out there.
There you go.
Yeah, and then once you've done those and you think you're hot and you pop in and everything, then maybe reach out to maybe not me but somebody else. She
said, "We're fully booked right now, baby. We fully booked."
No, I'd like to deal with mostly experienced professionals.
Of course.
Yeah, but there's a place for new people always, and there are, of course, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but there's definitely sites that can help you and give you some direction.
Right.
I don't know why I can't think of it, but there is a website that I help promote sometimes, and it leads people in the right direction on like how to get into porn and stuff. Because I can't think of it right now, you can check out Lance Hart. He's the one who developed it. And if you go to his Instagram, he's got it all over his Instagram page. But there's resources out there. So, once you feel comfortable and you're like, oh, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Remember, it's a tattoo. It doesn't go away. Not even if you just do one scene. So, if your mom's like religious and you're like, oh, she won't find out, she's going to find out. Your dirty uncle's going to tell her. So, just keep that shit in mind.
Yeah. Did you know that off rip that this was a permanent thing? And there are girls that kind of they go to it with that kind of like rationalization that, hey, I'll do an obscure scene for a not known studio.
Right.
It's only going to be shown in Asia. No, it's not.
Yeah, this year and then next year it's going to be shown everywhere.
Yeah. You in Amsterdam.
Right.
For sure.
Right.
I never really was worried about any of that. I didn't even think about it, I guess. But also I started at a different time when people were not super into porn, and I didn't think that anybody
vocal about it.
Yeah, I didn't think anybody would ever approach me in public. And if I thought if they did, they'll be like,
right. Because that means that you're the one watching, right?
Yeah.
So it's like.
But now that everybody, the internet, everybody's got porn, everybody watches porn, it's like a big deal. They're like, hey, Sarah Jay.
Hey, Sarah.
Yeah, it's more common tongue now, definitely.
Totally.
Yeah,
For sure. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, every single Thursday at midnight, you know what it is. Holla.
And it don't matter what the world thinks. You can say how you feel on midnight in Miami. Where you can push it to the limit.